The date of Pooh Shiesty's release was recently publicized on Facebook by his mother, despite the fact that he escaped from police in a jet, conducted a violent armed robbery, and displayed his weapon online.
Sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Police and prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the flew, and it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Island.
DJ Academics puts it, Pooh Shiesty is at a halfway house. He's going to be home soon, as he was lucky enough to have his lawyers secure him a profit deal to have him released in 2025. In an Instagram live defense, his pal Big 30 was accused of snitching by a number of other rappers.
Mama, if you see some paperwork, my mama, I do whatever y'all tell me to do, cause my eyebrows, mustache, hair, I throw my chains in the river and jump in and if Shiesty snitch. Go on, take one to the
Rappers mocked him for coming forth with information, but they didn't know the whole story, because even scholars were pointing out that his detention wasn't normal.
Pooh Shiesty, who looked like he's absolutely chilling in jail. My boy got a little Richard Millie, you know what I mean? Got the haircut all right, you know what I mean?
They be playing Fortnite Mobile.
In jail? Oh, he got the Timbs on. They look fresh as well. Yo, this so chilling in prison, he got 2 watches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, 2 watches, not even 1.
But it's crucial to know the latest information regarding his case and comprehend his formal release date. Shy and his associates arranged a meeting for expensive sneakers and cocaine, according to crime reports. On camera, Pooh Shiesty is seen heading to the meet in a brilliant green McLaren. Shy and his child devised a scheme to take the goods if the seller's asking price was too high while they waited for him to come. Shy began inspecting the expensive sneakers as soon as the vendor showed up, which allowed his friend to set up shop for the heist. Shy continued trying to haggle over the goods price while the purchase was being concluded, but the seller refused to budge. Carry out the heist as soon as we noticed Shy taking a gun from his waist. Shy struck the 2 vendors in the hip and the rear end because they were too sluggish to duck behind their car for protection. As his friend jumped into the passenger seat of the McLaren and snatched the narcotics and footwear, Shy was attending to the vendors. After a few more looks to make sure the sellers aren't trying to pull anything, Shy gets into his car, slams the door, and drives off. His car's side door pocket contained the money he intended to use to purchase the products, which is the only issue. Shy lost his $40,000 in a Louis Vuitton bag that included $40,000 in cash, which not only made the heist absolutely pointless, but also constituted a criminal getting the sneakers and drugs for free. Later on, this bag provided the federal authorities with a plethora of information regarding Shy, but more on that later. Federal investigators discovered Shy a few days after he fled the parking lot in a private plane and flew out of the state to the closest Miami airport.
The town of Bay Harbor Island says you're wanted He's also charged with armed robbery, battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet.
He posted a $30,000 bail after being arrested. After 2 months, he was caught and brought to court.
Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest warrant. It was issued June 3rd. It's charging you. You have 2 attorneys here, or is it 2 attorneys in the state. Go ahead. You want to announce again?
Brad Cohen and Sam Zegny for the defendant.
Right. Have you had a chance to review?
Yes, Judge, we have.
Scholars said that Pooh Shiesty had been sentenced to 63 months in prison on accusations of robbery and guns. But in the end, Shy fulfilled his profit contract. When many academics learned of Shy's punishment, they couldn't believe it and felt it was too light.
I think he's coming home like next year, maybe the year after. However, it looks like he's, taking responsibility of whatever happened and doing his time, not crying, clearly trying to let people know he's straight. And I do think when he comes back out, granted, as long as it's not like too far from now, if he comes back in a year, he's good.
Although Shy's mother announced on her Facebook page that it's finished, Shy has engaged in a lot of illegal behavior, and he has been criticized by many rappers and fans for attempting to utilize a criminal case to further his rap career. But Shy has been doing this all his life, and now that he's well known and rich, he just keeps doing it.
I mean, look, Pooh Shiesty was probably the biggest artist that he signed in recent memory. But Pooh Shiesty had a history of crimes before he ever signed to Gucci. It ain't like, you know, he was like a school and Gucci suddenly put him in a bad direction. No, he was already doing it. Gucci wasn't around when he was doing all the crazy that they got him locked up for. It just is what it is. But
Pooh Shiesty's in prison right now for somebody in the ass with a code while sitting inside of a McLaren.
Yeah.
Some Grand Theft Auto shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's who he was before that. So it's like, that ain't a surprise. And Gucci ain't gonna tell you like, he can't just change who you are as a person. So it's like, you know, but people come up with the conspiracy theories and the life insurance whatever.
Shy actually betrayed himself by telling the judge and prosecutors how he committed the crime, including how he escaped from the police and ordered the private jet, even though his profit deal with the federal government was the main factor in his reduced prison sentence. This is because a judge will reward any criminal found guilty of a crime. They forced Shy to list his faults as their final task because the first one was carrying out an armed robbery adjacent to a police station. When law enforcement heard weapons, they hurried to the scene as the camera in a police station had recorded the crime being committed. To save time for everyone, they were prepared to streamline the trial procedure. To begin the investigation, they immediately recognized the murder site and pulled up their security camera footage. The Louis Vuitton bag containing the cash was taken by the police, more importantly because they were there so fast. Following some public tips about the possible offender, the feds searched through Shy's Instagram and retrieved a few pictures of Shy showing off. They found that the serial numbers on the bills in the Louis Vuitton bag and the money from Shy's Instagram matched through clever detective work. The largest mistake of all, though, is that Shy uploaded a selfie of himself with the McLaren he used to perform the armed robbery on Instagram, in addition to the money from his corresponding account. Rappers still referred to Shy as a snitch, despite everything, which hurt his standing in the industry. In a retaliatory reply, Shy claimed that he was still king and accused his ops of disrespecting him from behind bars. He was photographed with the car on the day he committed the crime. Tell Google to stop Shy from tapping in from the center of the prison. I have millions in double digits. Adjust my net worth. Before I purchase one of you for sale, Jay-Z should stop playing with my name because he couldn't even relate to my financial situation. We are able to verify that I am now incarcerated and unharmed. I was 21. You are nothing. On Sundays, I wear the same outfit twice a day, traveling from Tokyo to Tennessee. While I was free in prison, I never worried that no one would want to play with me. I'm still the king of Memphis. Whatever the jungle, stay strong, my loved ones, supporters, and admirers who keep me going every day. I see everything, I assure you, and I have something unique for each and every one of you. Slick is a slightly more powerful version of the same man. But how could you have let a man in the feds beat you on Baby Larry? I am unbeatable. Do you no longer dislike backbiting, deceptive advertising, and excluding me? Like a treehouse, it's up and stuck, and I'm landing. I'm putting all of my energy into you guys because I have a grudge. Even if he still acts shy on the inside. We saw him express this in an interview.
When I got signed, but I'm gonna tell you before I got signed, like breaking news. The verse on breaking news made everybody go crazy. Folks started saying I'm their favorite rapper already, so I'm gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just made me go harder.
So the success kind of gave you the confidence to really keep it up?
Yeah, they rocking with me for sure.
Man.
It's my first verse.